Cynthia Axton, a former federal prosecutor, and Barry Grissom, a former U.S. attorney. Thank you all. And you've all been thinking about this case as we have been covering it. I want to start with Cynthia, then to Barry. When you're looking at Cohen, the guy is not a nice guy. He comes across as sympathetic, however. Looks like he's sad. He's going down. If you're his attorney, what are you thinking about? A pardon, or are you thinking about copping a plea to Mueller? What are you thinking about this? Because he's got these huge charges against him in terms of bank fraud and failure to honestly pay taxes, honestly to pay to report campaign expenditures, the whole bang. They can get him.
They can get him. Well, he's going to have to make a deal. He has nowhere else to go. He's pushed himself away from Trump. He doesn't have the same flexibility because Trump can't really pardon him because he potentially has state charges. I'll tell you what
Did his lawyer tell him that?
Oh, yeah. I'll tell you what he's got that Manafort doesn't have. He has relationships and deals with Trump's kids. If he can give the prosecutor something on Trump's kids, now you've got a pressure point that is very different from what Manafort could do.
And that is pressure on the president.
Yeah.
Do you share my intuition that the last thing he wants is to come into the presidency, run for the presidency, win the presidency, serve for a year, and at the bottom line, in family terms, put his kids in jail?
He's not going to put his kids in jail. I mean, I think that's the only redeeming quality of the guy.
That he would give up the presidency to free them?
Yes.
Is that a deal you can make?
I don't know. It depends on what he's done.
Can you make a law? I mean, can you cut a deal saying, okay, because I know a guy that you could promise never to run for office again. People resign and the prosecutions are dropped.
Oh, you mean could Mueller make? Mueller can make whatever deal he wants.
Yeah, you can make a deal. So
he has a lot of power. He can make a lot of
you walk. You're gone. You give up the presidency.
Maybe. I mean, but that's what's different about Cohen.
Okay, let's talk about this other guy, Manafort. Barry, Manafort's looking at huge time. We don't know what that jury's up to, so I'm sure. Look, I'm not a lawyer. I said it a million times, but you're thinking if it's you're representing Manafort, who's facing this serious time. If he does get a hung jury, how does that change things? Because they're 3 days in now.
Well, first of all, I don't think just being 3 days in is a critical amount of time. I mean, this jury has been asked to review a lot of complex tax information. They've probably never heard of banking laws dealing with foreign banking entities. So I would say that they're doing a good job as far as weeding through all the various accounts and matching up the evidence with each count. If we are still talking like this a week from now, I think Mr. Manafort should be happy, because that means somebody is holding out. But I've got a feeling within the next couple of days we'll have a verdict.
Do you think that judge has been fair in not helping them wade through all this paper? They've got all these exhibits. They've got to crosswalk those exhibits to the particular charges and try to understand what evidence they really have and where it applies. He said, I'm not going to help you with that. I mean, it seems to me that puts a tremendous strain on regular civilian jurors to figure this thing out.
It really does. I mean, because the lawyers are there, they're basically teaching the jury what this case is about.
Yeah.
And if some of your teaching mechanisms or tools are taken away from you, it only harms your case, whether you're the prosecution or the defendant.
What do you think, Cynthia, watching it? Do you think it's been a fair... I just watched this judge constantly put his finger on the scale to help the defendant.
Well, they're so obsessed in Alexandria with getting through quickly. He's done his job.
One day of voir dire, 1 day of picking the whole jury?
Well, the voir dire I'm not as concerned about as that they could not publish the exhibits to the jury. So now the jury's totally confused about what exhibits go with what. Okay. They didn't see them for the first time. It's a problem.
Bigger threat to Trump. Is it Manafort or Cohen?
Cohen.
Barry, biggest threat?
I would say Cohen, absolutely, because Cohen was his personal lawyer for all those years leading up to the time of the beginning of the administration. So if there's any dirt out there, Mr. Cohen's been involved in it.
Well said. Thank you, Cynthia Axton. Thank you, Barry Grissom. I see a lot of salience in this war against Trump facing into him now. Up next, the battle for Democrats to win back Trump.